Well, you can use it if you want.
I think we'll use the microphone a little bit.
Okay, please do.
Hello, everyone. That's Hanna. Hanna has ALS. ALS is a degenerative neuromuscular disease. So that means that the connections between her neurons in her muscles are disconnecting, which means, every day it gets a little more difficult for her to breathe and move and scratch her itches and swallow, everything. As soon as she became ill, people started offering to help. And Hanna said, I don't want a circle of care around me. I want to be part of a community of mutual care. And so for over a year, a growing number of people have been practicing, what does that mean, to be in a community of mutual care? And ALS, is terminal. There's no cure. So we are all in the presence of, in conversation with death. So tonight, we're going to take turns and share little snippets of our experience with you from that practice of community and belonging and dying.
Inside caring for you, Hanna, I find awe. Like that time in the kitchen when your rising howl filled the room as your tall frame fell to the floor, face first and plank-like. The steadiness I felt as my hands swept down your body to soothe you in rhythm with your moaning. Or when I first met George, your hemorrhoid. After your shy request for cream there. Like when I got bossy with your 82-year-old mother, yelling, "Get in bed, old lady!" after she protested, and you both let me tuck you in and kiss your foreheads. Like when you first saw the blooming magnolia branch, I snuck in, cut before the frost.
Inside a sunset, on a street I've known and loved and lost, I find a moment to watch with Hanna and Olivia as the rose gold melts down the edge of the hillside, too bright for my eyes to look at directly. Side by side, we stand beside, like when we dance, stretching arms, legs, hands up to the edges of the possible.
Hey, inside the joys and the trials of caregiving, I find the ridiculous, like last week today, when the moment you started projectile vomiting, right when the food's going into your stomach and then right out, up from your belly, and my nose started bleeding at the exact same moment, gushing blood. So I'm holding the blood in my mask and holding the trash can up so you can puke in it.
Inside ALS, I'm enveloped in love for a person and a community I grew to know through dying. I feel that every time Hanna laughs. Like when Hanna asked me to read a bedtime story from a book written in Afrikaans.
so I made up a nonsense story about a mouse and her detested homemade apron. And there was that laugh. And the room that is half ALS and half wool is filled with love and warmth, and I think how grateful I am to experience this love story.
Inside caregiving with you, our beloved Hanna, I find joy, despair, tenderness, and a deep, innate, singular presence, like when I experienced labor and childbirth. All of life's noise becomes muted as we join together in the most fundamental dynamics in life, connection, and care, knowing we are made for this. When we breathe, attune to our and each other's deepest parts, and allow the journey to unfold.
Inside caregiving and care receiving, I find a bittersweetness, like when Elisa held a dandelion to Hanna's lips. Her breath isn't strong, so we were ready to help, as with candles on a birthday cake. After many wind-ups and great effort, Hanna exhaled. The sound was more of a raspberry than a whoosh. We laughed and laughed. Then Hanna told us she's noticed her breath becoming more labored. She drew one wavy line with peaks and valleys spread out, representing how her breath used to be. Then another line with the ups and downs way closer together, representing how her breath is now. I think that line also represents how the space between laughter and tears is thinning these days.
Inside living and dying, I find tenderness when Hanna gives me head.
I'm reading for Erica Johnson, although I was there this night. Inside the apocalyptic slumber party, I find hilarity, like when Fabio, the respiratory tech delivery man, unexpectedly interrupted our girls' confabulation about sex and disability, and we all failed to suppress our giggles as he demonstrated the new suction machine. You have to plug it in and go to town.
Inside this uninvited, fast-forward version of our growing old together, I find that I can feel our complete history of loving each other. The present moments of devastation, hilarity, grief, joy, community, sadness, connection, overwhelm, gratitude, and the future when we'll still be connected in some yet to be understood way. At the same time, all at the same time, especially when we close our eyes and rest our foreheads together. Hanna gets good head.
Inside caring for my beloved Hanna as she is dying from ALS. The other night I helped Hanna sit up in bed at 2 a.m. I'm sleeping next to her and can't touch her even with my blanket because of the pain in her shoulder and arms. As I remove the rubbery mask of the BiPAP machine, I see she's weeping. "What's wrong?" I asked. Through tears, she slowly writes her answer. "I wish that we could cuddle." I read the words out loud. Hanna is sobbing. I think of how our bodies fit together and how connected I feel in her arms, and how when we would hold each other through the night, the day's edges would soften and melt away. I gently pull her warm, wet face against my bare chest, and as we cry together in the night, we are the only thing.
Inside, caring for you, I feel so much. Like when we three were in the shower bathing you naked and us stripped to our underwear. The eroticism of so much skin aside the mundane task of washing my friend who can no longer wash herself. I feel nervous I will forget the steps and reassured and raptured even as I watch Goldie's attuned ease as she touches, smiles, and speaks gently to you.
Inside the night shift of caring for and with you, I find humility, grace, exhaustion, fear, and deep love. Like when I wake up at 2 a.m. and then again at 5 a.m. to slowly, carefully count the Tylenol, oxycodone, and Valium milliliter by milliliter for your body to accept through your feeding tube. Sure, I will soon break, only to sit next to you on the bed, rub your forearm with Dr. Solomon's lotion for relief, hold our heads together tenderly and sleepily, and rejoice. Inside caregiving for you, Hanna, I find magical depths, like how washing your hands transforms and intertwines, simple with complex, messy with finesse, frustration with grace, mundane with spirit, water with earth, me with you.
These are Hanna's words. Inside, facing a slow demolition of my body's capacity and needing 24-hour care, I find you, and you, and you, and you, and you, and you, and you. Taking off my pea-soaked sneakers. You washing vomit off your socks. You reading to me in the ER or in my 4 a.m. pain. You staying present to the worst of me as I holler in frustration. You battling and buckling the medical system on my behalf. You singing every time my bra comes off, or hatching Christmas chickens on my counter. You belting out most beautiful sky under my balcony. You relentlessly showering Careforce with meals. You showing me that even if caring is so much work, I am not a burden. You saying I am here for all of it, showing me what it's like to not be disposable, but to genuinely belong. You making real, we belong to each other. You in your love, so luminous.
There is a catchphrase that's become important to many of us. It comes from the poet Jack Gilbert. Stubborn gladness, stubborn joy. Like loss, death, grief, my own, Hanna's, other people's, whole nations. I'll feel it, but it doesn't get to own me. It doesn't get to have all of me. It doesn't get to have my joy. So we'll be joyful, damn it. Stubborn joy. So we'd like to close by inviting you all to feel and celebrate this together with us, like maybe let's all give a howl that we're in it together. All of us have loss and joy. All of us are dying. So we'll get it started, and we'll invite you into a howl for heartbreak, a howl for life's wildness and mystery, a howl for belonging to one another.